Every day, a girl waves to an officer. His instinct prompts him to check her residence the day she doesn't. The life of Clinton Scale was not at all simple. Growing up in Kansas City, Missouri in the 1990s with her mother and two brothers, the family struggled mightily to make ends meet. Despite her mother's best efforts, the family's needs were never fully met. Fortunately, there was one part of Clinton's day that she always looked forward to: getting to wave at her favorite policeman, who happened to be a daily patroller of their neighborhood. Clinton was able to put her hardship behind her and feel valued in that one moment. But everything changed one day. The policeman waited for Clinton one day, expecting their customary hello, but she never really showed up. He knew something was seriously wrong the moment she skipped their daily appointment for the first time. What follows will astound you. The family of Scales was having trouble. Clinton, the 9 years old, saw firsthand how her mother tried her hardest to support the family. But ultimately, it was not enough. Every stride they went forward appeared to be met with 3 steps backward, as if the entire world were working against them. Their residence in a highly challenging Kansas City area did not help either. Drugs were often peddled on the street, and violence was the norm. It was a difficult location, not the ideal environment for a little girl to grow up in, and somewhere to reside. There was also the ongoing issue of money. There were bills accumulating everywhere, and it was difficult to constantly put food on the table. Clinton often had to sleep hungry since she didn't have enough money for a big dinner. Her mother quickly took a dark turn, which didn't help. Clinton's mother became addicted to drugs because she was fed up with trying, and the violence they had tried so hard to keep out of the house was now creeping in. Clinton had to become her boy's light, and she had to adjust to being a mother and a caretaker. Fortunately, in spite of the hopelessness and sorrow, Clinton was able to look on one individual for comfort. Given where she lived and how she was raised, it was someone she never thought would give a damn. But it was a pleasant surprise that would change her life. Patrolling the Kansas City neighborhoods was a routine to which an officer, Jeff Colvin, had become used. Calvin had to maintain extreme caution when doing his patrols because the neighborhood where he worked was notorious for its shady business transaction and high crime rate. He had no idea what unanticipated circumstance he might run into. Calvin saw a small child in the area he patrolled one day. He gave her a smile and saw the grin light up in her eyes. She gave a wave in return. It was an easy one gesture, but Calvin saw that the local children were struggling. But he never would have guessed that one wave would grow into something so much bigger. Clinton would grin and wave to Calvin at the same location throughout the course of the following few weeks. For the girl and the officer, it became a regular ritual that, despite her difficult home situation, he had no clue afforded her such delight. With the passage of time, a friendship between Calvin and Clinton developed. They would discuss aims, dreams, and objectives in addition to the weather and her day. But there was something Clinton was not telling him. Though she appeared to be a content young child, Clinton was having a trouble. With her mother's illness and increasing absence from her life, the little girl had no choice but to assume the role of the family adult. Calvin was unaware of the difficulties in her life. Clinton had to make sure that there was food for her two brothers because her mother wasn't home too often. She then stole food from the nearby 7-Eleven as a result. Although Clinton was aware that stealing was immoral, she was left with no other option. She refused to let her brothers go hungry since they had gone days without food far too often. The one reliable person in Clinton's life was Officer Calvin. He would regularly appear on their location, and he developed into a significant figure in her life, as well as a role model. But everything changed one day. When Calvin got to the location of their meeting one lovely afternoon, he discovered that Clinton had vanished. He was shocked that she would abruptly disappear because she had never missed their regular get-togethers. He had developed a strong attachment to the girl and was concerned that anything may have happened to her. Calvin made the decision to go to Clinton's residence to see how she was doing. He knew precisely where it was since he had followed her home once to make sure she had arrived safely. But no one answered the door when he knocked. But suddenly, something moved, and he heard a groan. Even while he didn't often break into, Calvin had a horrible gut feeling that something wasn't right at someone's house. Once inside, he discovered Clinton, pallid and shivering, lying on the floor. As soon as he realized how sick she was, he phoned for an ambulance. Following his hasty hospital admission, Clinton's condition was determined to be acute malnourishment. The physician said that by locating her, Calvin had saved her life since she would not have survived another day without medical attention. Talk about having an angelic protector. Through all the bad situations, I would just picture him saying that he was there for us and if we ever needed him, he would be right there. Clinton would later recount, "Those words would come to me in the darkest moments because he would always protect us." Of my early years, significant changes occurred in life after Calvin saved Clinton. She would eventually relocate, but in the years that followed, she never forgot the extraordinary generosity he had shown her when she was just 9 years old. She had been offered another shot at life by him. As a child, Clinton said, "He was that one person that I trusted in my life." She'd been thinking about him for 20 years and knew that she had to find him. Clinton wanted to thank him face to face, even with all the time that had gone. Regretfully, after all that time, Clinton had forgotten his name. So, in the hopes of finding something, she went onto Facebook and started browsing the Kansas City Police Department page, an image of him. So, in the hopes of finding something, she went onto Facebook and started browsing the Kansas City Police Department page, an image of him she found. Thank goodness she managed to get in contact with the Sergeant Jennifer Jones, who promised to get in touch with the officer Calvin in her behalf. Jones sent Calvin an email informing him that a woman claiming to be a little child he had assisted years before was searching for the policeman she had waved to every day. To put it mildly, Calvin was stunned to recall Clinton. Even though it had been 20 years, Calvin knew who she was right away. He had been pondering about the girl a lot, wondering what had become of her. Calvin said, "I always wondered what became of her," to the local media. It was surprising to connect so many years later. Jones put Calvin in touch with the girl once Calvin verified he knew her directly with Clinton. The adult woman was overjoyed to have finally met the man who had such a significant influence on her life. "I never imagined this would occur, to locate my heroes," she said following their encounter with Glenn. Calvin was bursting with feelings. "Most times we go through our career not realizing we truly helped anybody out," he said. "That was the case with me, where I wondered if I was even on the right career path." Fortunately, his connection with Clinton demonstrated that he had made the correct decision. Clinton said that her subsequent actions in life were significantly influenced by Calvin's pair in her life. She succeeded in changing her life, removing her brothers from their drug-addled mother, and started a new life for herself. She now intended to become a police officer in the hopes of having the same influence on another person Calvin completed for her. Clinton published her story on social media following her encounter with Calvin, and it quickly went viral, gaining a ton of support for both her and Calvin. People praised Clinton for overcoming her difficulties and were moved by Calvin's altruism and generosity. "Jeff Calvin is not just my idol, he is also my angel of protection. When I had no one, he was there. I want him to know, as well as every other police officer, that no matter how large or little, what you do may have the same positive effect on someone else's life as it did on mine." We anticipate that Clinton will continue to accomplish incredible feats. It's incredible the difference that a small wave and a smile can make.